like to welcome Sam Coronel. He's representing Kino Flo today. Tell us about your new products.
Hi, I'm Sam Coronel. Thank you guys for coming out. This is, thank you. So there's three things I want to talk about. So there's, we've been acquired by Chauvet Lighting, some of the new products that we're coming out with, and also Frieder's going to join us to talk about virtual production, some of the lights that we're working on, like the Mimic 120 VR. I'm just going to cover the light side of things. So what we have here is our take on the lightweight panel. The line, it started as a select, and then it was converted into the Freestyle line. There's 12 different configurations, 3 which we just recently added. So these are the new 3. This is our take on the lightweight Freestyle panel. So this is 7 pounds. It's super bright, like half the intensity of an Image 87, still large and soft as most of all the Kinos. You can bring them down to 0.2% if you need to do like very low light levels. I believe, I don't think you can see it, but it's at 2%, and you can take it up all the way up to 100%. So there's 3 different models. There's the Freestyle Air Max, the Freestyle Air, which is a 4x2, and the Freestyle Mini Air, which is a 2x1. We do have diffusers and louvers as accessories as well. And the Freestyle controllers are so ubiquitous within the film industry that in reality now all you really need to do is add the heads. So one of the things that I want to cover on the new heads that we've done is it has a metal connector, so it's solid steel. You could run a truck over it and not have a problem of it breaking or anything like that. It's rigid, so you could put up to like 200 pounds of pressure onto the fixture, and you should have no damages within the LED dials or any of the enclosure. You could remove the top or bottom bezel and take the LEDs out and replace the LED chips yourself instead of having to ship it back to Burbank or ship it anywhere, wherever you may be, and you'll be able to repair it yourself, basically. And they all come with the Freestyle ecosystem. So I believe that's the best part of it, of everything, because being able to run 12 different configurations is what makes this product neat, because you have the controller that you may already be familiar with, or like a lot of the working professionals maybe already be familiar with. The DMX dimming, like all the channels are all the same, and some of the things that you're able to do are like, you could run it on white from 2,500 Kelvin all the way to 10,000 Kelvin. You can store any of the information that you had. You can adjust green or magenta. You could go through the different gels, and you can change the Kelvin temperature on any of the particular gels. You could go through RGB, manipulate all the RGB, blend the different colors. You have different effects, X, Y. So you have like loaded with a lot of capability onto the controllers. And yeah, so these are now shipping. This is 7 pounds, 5 pounds, and 3 pounds. And they're with the Freestyle ecosystem, the controller has a power supply, everything built in already. So that's one of the things. Another thing is that we have been acquired by Chauvet about a year ago, which is great because we're able to bring in new different products like ellipsoidals, movers and everything. And we're possibly being able to add like the color science that Kino Flo is known for onto some of the Chauvet products and bring them into the film industry, which is going to be great because there's going to be a lot more coming out of Kino Flo. So within the next couple of years, you'll see a lot more in the field. And another thing that we're getting into is virtual production. So times are changing, as Tim Kang was explaining earlier. Like now, more and more people are like, kind of going to that direction of being able to do things on virtual production. So we had to come up with a solution to solve the problem of lighting on virtual sets. And that is that's how the Mimic 120 was born. And that, I am going to pass it off to Frieder because he is better at explaining than I am.
It was a little too premature to bring everything out here to the show, but what I can do is tease the product and ask you to go to our website and invite everybody to NAB, where we're going to have a substantial booth a 40 by 50, which is totally unheard of for Kino Flo, but we're now a combined booth of Chauvet, Campsys is a lighting desk, and Kino Flo. So Tim put on a great demonstration of virtual lighting and what the goal is. So we looked at this back in 2019 and decided on a solution that moved away from a DMX protocol and more into a direct video feed. So we've developed a product that is a 2 foot by 4 foot or 600 by 1200 millimeter panel. It's essentially a lighting tile like in video tile that can interlock, create ceilings, walls, be used individually. It takes a feed directly off a Helios processor from Megapixel. Megapixel processor can handle up to 38 million pixels rather. Our panel is 7,200 pixels. If that was a DMX, if it was under a DMX protocol, it'd be 140 universes for one fixture. So that didn't make a lot of sense to us to follow that track. So by going directly through a Helios processor, operating at a very high refresh rate of 30 kilohertz, we can now drive up to 2,000 panels off one processor. It's pretty mind-blowing. The big thing, the big advantage of a system like this is that we can actually gen lock to the volume. DMX latency issues prevent that kind of a gen lock, which is not to say you don't need it all the time. I think for many things it may not be necessary, but for those productions where gen locking the lighting to the to the background plate is really critical, this now addresses that. So if you want more information, I welcome you to go to the Kino Flo website. The product is Mimic, M-I-M-I-K, and there's information posted there now. And if you look online, there may be some YouTube videos as well that start to talk about it. So,
well, I like big sources, but that's crazy.
yeah, well, you can go as big as you can go 5 high, which is 20 feet high, and then go as wide as you like on a ground support system. And so when you talk about brightness, it's a 400 watt panel. So a screen is 800 to 1200 nits. We're talking about 10,000 nits. 8,000 nits is your midday sky. So we're doing some testing right now with Fuse, and they just have like 4 of them and crank them up, and it was like, that's bright. The beauty is that it's also 17-bit dimming, so we can actually go very, very low and hold color on it as well. So it's completely unlike anything that's ever been done. We actually do have a US patent on it, thank God. Like I said, this started in 2019. It was not the easiest thing to pull off, but we've got a great team, and together with Megapixel VR, we're able to bring it to market. The other thing that's important to note is that it will operate parallel to existing processors. So if you've got a Novastar, if you have a Brompton, we pull the same feed from their server or their media server and drive it through the Helios. And at that point, that's where we do the alignment, and we can then gen lock it. So we're agnostic when it comes to the screen that we're dealing with.
I'm very eager to see that at NAB. So
Yeah.
after you see that, Tuesday at 5 in the Cine area, come to the DCS 20-year anniversary party, happy hour. Raise a toast to DCS.
Party down, yeah.
Just
So-
wanted to get my little plug in for that. But tell us about Chauvet. What's going
So
on?
the August of 2021, we closed an acquisition, and since then we've been working frantically on getting new products into the market. So we'll be showing some new product. We have a new Celeb, a new Diva. Remains to be seen whether they'll all be there. We're pushing hard. We will be showing the Mimic in its full glory. We'll have a virtual set built up. There will be about 24 units in operation, together with a range of Chauvet product that I think will appeal to the motion picture market. So the goal now is to bring our color science into ellipsoidals, into Fresnel, and into moving heads. And the goal is also to make those linkable to Helios, so they'll be controlled no longer from DMX, but through a processor. We had a great meeting with 728 last weekend, did a very intense workshop on the software of the Helios, and really illustrated how deep you can dig into controlling that instrument. And so for us, it's also important that 728 maintain its jurisdiction on the lighting side for this new technology. And I think we've accomplished that.
There's a lot of 728 members here, and I have to say it's really, lighting science is getting a lot more complicated, you know. It's not just dragging Bandit around. In fact, we're not using so much Bandit anymore.
No.
It's, but you have to really
Well, when you think
get
of
into learning about this
Well, when you think of
technology.
cabling it, you've got a power cord that runs into it and an Ethernet. That's it. And you can link all that together. So you can link 4 of them together in sequence, or maybe even more, I think. But anyway, it's a quantum leap forward from where we've been.
But you're working to educate.
So I think education is key.
728 members.
Yeah, we met with 728 executive board, explained it all to them. They're totally on board. They say this is a high priority for the membership to understand the technology. Is everyone a board operator? No, but the board operators that were there, it was a 3-hour, uninterrupted, intense, in-depth workshop, and nobody stopped for coffee or tea. They were so into it. So this is very heartening and reassuring that I think this is going to take the industry really into the 21st century now. It's really changing things. One other note to add, it's not just an image-based light source. It's also a white light tunable Kelvin light source. So we can flip between its conventional operation, mind you, it still runs through a processor, but you can use it as a Kelvin tunable white source or as an image-based illuminant. So, crazy.
Well, how about the tubes that we all have loved for years? Can
They're
we
still
still get those repaired? Can we
So the tubes, we still have tubes. The problem is I'm having more difficulty trying to get them built. There's one factory left in Hungary that we've had standing orders with, and it's taken 2 years on a delivery because the entire remaining world market is now focused on one factory. This factory makes its own glass, so they can make every type of lamp under God's blue sky. And so we have a certain amount of inventory, and we keep servicing it as long as we can. And quite frankly, when you looked at the spectrum of the KF55s and the 32s, they were still a broader spectrum than an LED. So, but again, electronic cameras are very forgiving to that, to the spectrum of the LEDs, and I think camera manufacturers understand that that is now the light source that they have to tune the cameras to. So I think you get great results. We're very proud of our color signs, and we're going to be introducing some new color signs at the NAB show that further expands what we've been able to do. So,
No, I guess with that, we'll say thank you to both of you.
thank you
I
for the
appreciate it
opportunity.
very much.
All the best. Cheers. See you in Vegas.